Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to find the nth term rule of a linear sequence. A linear sequence is when your first difference is always the same. Now if you're not too sure what that means, that will become clear in my first example. There are many different ways of finding the nth term rule. So in this video I'm just going to show you one way, but that does not mean any other methods that you've seen or understood are incorrect. So this is the sequence that I'm going to be looking at. First of all, I'm going to just check the difference to see if it is a linear sequence. So this is plus 6, and it is going up by 6 each time. If the difference is always constant, then that means that's a linear sequence. Now, which times table always has a gap of 6? It would be your 6 times table, which means if you want to create a rule for this, you've got to create a gap of 6. Which means your rule would start with 6n. Now, that there creates your 6 times table. So what I'm going to do above my sequence, I'm going to write what my 6 times table actually is. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Now, that's the sequence I currently have. This is the one I want. How do I get from this sequence to this one? And I can see it goes down by 4 each time. So that is why it ends with take away 4. The most common mistake people make is they see that there is a difference of 6 and now say the nth term has to be n plus 6. This cannot be correct. The reason why, when n is 1, the first term, 1 plus 6 equals 7. The first term of this sequence is 7, but the first term of this one is 2. These do not match. That means that this is not correct. Let's do a couple more just to make sure you understand it, and I can show you a couple of the twists that turn up. So if you want to try this one ahead of me, pause the video now. If not, let's do it now. So first of all, we find the difference. The sequence is going up by 3 each time. This means it's a linear sequence. So my nth term rule will start with 3n. Because the 3 times table creates your gap of 3. I now write my 3 times table above my sequence. And I have a look. How do I get from my 3n to my sequence? It's going up by 2 each time. That means I need to add 2. Let's do one more, but this time I have a decreasing sequence. So as before, if you want to try this ahead of me, pause the video now, and then you can see if our answers match. Okay, this time the sequence is going down by 4 each time. That means my nth term rule would start with minus 4n. That means above the sequence, I will write the minus 4 times table. And that is the same as your 4 times table, except there is a minus in front. Right, how do I get from my sequence to my number? Well, plus 4 will get me to 0, then plus a 10 will get me there, so 14. And we can check, you can even check on any of them, it will go up by 14. So we write plus 14. Now this is the way you would often write, sometimes you would write it, but sometimes in the exam you will see it written this way round, where you swap the terms around. Both are correct. This one looks a bit nicer because the minus is in the middle instead of at the front, but both of these versions would give you full marks.